Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Yashar'el, Yahudah. Listening to none other than Hezekiah. Song is entitled Women in Travail. I don't own the rights to this music. We the woman in travail, push. Yashar'el and Yahudah, push. Grafted in Gentiles into the body for Mashiach, push. You pushing on behalf of you, Yashar'el and Yahudah. Push. Push, 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 push. Listen, Yahuah has called me to cry loud and to spare not, to lift up my voice like a trump. Hold on. Take my word for it. He called me to cry loud and spare not. Lift up my voice like a trumpet in Zion. To tell his people they need to receive the witness, the ruach HaKodesh. They need to be established. Push, push. Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, I ask you to take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue, that I might assist in the push. Yahuah, I pray that I will cause no one to be turned out of the way, no one to stumble, no one to come up lame. Yahuah, push. Yahuah, I'm praying right now in the name of Yahusha Mashiach that you would move by your ruach, for your word is a lamp unto our feet, a light unto our pathway. The entrance of thy word gives light, it gives understanding to the simple. Young man is cleansed by his ways when he takes heed to the word of Yahuah. Yahuah, your word is an everlasting righteousness. Thy Torah is truth. Yahuah, I give you praise for your word. Let your word come forth. The ruach HaKodesh of truth, the ruach HaKodesh of your word. Yahuah, I pray in the name of Yahusha Mashiach that Yahusha's word that was made flesh will be manifested in the lives of those who have an ear to hear. Yahuah. In the name of Yahusha Mashiach, let the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, you are my strength. You are my redeemer. Listen. Push, 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 push. Listen, man of y'all, woman of y'all, listen. We got to push this thing through. Listen, and I'm not just talking about being woke. I'm talking about moving into the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Being established as sons and daughters, pushing in, pushing. Bring forth that child, Yashar'el. Bring forth that child, Yashar'el. Listen, man of y'all, woman of y'all, listen. We got to bring forth the child. That's why we the people of the book broadcast is going down. Listen. Who has told me to cry loud, to spare not? I got to lift up my voice. I got to tell you, you got to receive this witness. You got to receive this witness, and you got to be filled with Yahuwah's ruach HaKodesh. You got to have the ruach HaKodesh of truth. You have to be established with this exceedingly great promise, this power that Yahuwah has given. This is the only thing that's going to establish you in this witness. Listen, man, y'all, woman, y'all. It's about the witness. 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 And on this Shabbat, listen, this is a day of rest. This is a day in which we reflect on. We should be doing this every day. Actually, every day is Shabbat. And this awakening and this quickening, every day is a day of worship and praise and adoration to Yahuwah. And again, especially in the times that we're living in, we have to understand that we got to make sure that we maintain this connection to one another. And we got to walk in walk in and under the guidance of the Ruach HaKodesh. We got to keep the word of Yahuwah before us, man. We got to do everything in our power by the Ruach HaKodesh to present our bodies as a living sacrifice unto Yahuah, holy and acceptable. This is just reasonable. This is something that's reasonably required of us. Listen, we got to do this, man of y'all. We got to do this, woman of y'all. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. Push! You got to do this. Push! I love Ma'ak Hezekiah. Listen, Ma'ak Yaakov Ben Zion Gaal introduced me to this Ak. Man, listen, what? Listen, it was the theme that moved this witness forward. We the woman in travail, push. Look. Listen, I'm the redeemed. I am called by Yahuah to declare the word of Yahushua. I am his prophet, right? He's given some prophets. I am his prophet. I am here to speak a word, right? And the word ain't changed. You must receive the witness. You must receive the witness, the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach HaKodesh, the water, and the blood. Doesn't matter. You got to receive all three, right? Have to. The Ruach HaKodesh is what's going to come and live in you and dwell in you, and it's going to quicken you, make you alive. It's going to give you what you need to get the job done. It's going to give you what you need to keep Torah. The Ruach HaKodesh. See, because once you receive the Ruach HaKodesh, there's no excuses for not keeping Torah. The Ruach HaKodesh gives you what you need to keep Torah. Now, what you need to understand is Torah. You need to spend time reading Torah because you need to have your mind renewed. You have to have yourself shaped, disciplined in this word. But listen, the Ruach HaKodesh of truth with the word of Yahuah, the Torah of truth, listen. Besorah of truth, listen. You have everything you need to get the job done. Listen, again, you know, Yeshua has come. And Yeshua hasn't come for you to just kick back and relax. Yeshua has come for you to put in work. Listen, Yahuah put his ruach in those he needed to do work. That needed to do work for the kingdom, to do work for Yashar'el and Yahudah. They the ones that bore the Ruach HaKodesh, and as many as received him, to them gave he power. To bear the Ruach HaKodesh, to be the sons and daughters of Yahuah. To do what? To win the brethren. Push to bring this nation forward. Push to bring these children of Yashar'el and Yahudah forward. Push to bring the word to the grafted in Gentiles so that they can be grafted into the vine, and push. You know, I know some of y'all Hebrews don't like when I talk about the Gentiles as being just a part of this nation, but I don't care, because Yahusha don't care. They in if they receive the witness. Hallelujah. Shout out to all my Gentile brothers and sisters who have received the witness of Yahusha Mashiach, who has signs following, who stand in this witness, ruachally declaring that they men and women must be born of the Ruach HaKodesh and of the water and the blood. Listen, shout out to y'all. Right. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the Shabbat. Listen, I look forward to the Shabbats. You know what I mean? I look forward every day to being able to serve Yahuah by delivering his word to his people. That's what I live for, man. I live for the opportunity to open my mouth and have Yahuah by the Ruach HaKodesh give you a word that is for you, right? And the word he gives me is not for everybody, because Yahuah ain't chosen everybody. But for those whom he has chosen to receive this word, this witness, this Ruach word, listen, I'm doing it for you. Because Yahuah told me to cry aloud, spare not. We are in 2 Corinthians. We are in 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. And this 11th chapter has a total of 33 verses, right? So, Shaul, right, in the last chapter, right, he dealt with how he described himself, right, in comparison to how other people viewed him. He said, I know some of y'all think I'm weak. And my speech is contemptible. I know some of y'all got your own ideas about me, but I move in the ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah. I'm apostle because Yahuah has made me who I am. He has, through Yahusha Mashiach, brought me into this witness, and Yahusha Mashiach himself has appeared to him. You know? So Shaul, you know, again, when we look at Shaul's letters, we look at how he responds to what he has heard. You know, because, you know, he told him, he said, you know, I got word from Chloe about, you know, are you arguing over who's the greater apostle, right? And then it's been commonly reported unto me that, you know, that there's a fornication, you know, son taking his father's wife, right? So Shaul's getting constant feedback from people, you know, Shaul, and his letters addressing the feedback, you know, and Shaul's trying to do it in a manner in which, you know, he don't come down heavy, because in the first letter of Corinthians, he came in, you know, went in. Listen, he went in. He went in on him. You know, and then Titus came through behind, and, you know, Titus went in, and you know, and they was afraid. You know, these Gentiles, you know, converts. You know, Titus had to, you know, straighten them out. You know, in the name of Shaul. Shaul said, Titus, listen. Shaul was in a place now in this second epistle where he's not trying to take that posture. Right? You know, he loves the Corinthians. Right? He knows what they've come from. He knows their background. He's like, he's birthed these people. You know, I mean, Yahusha Mashiach's witness came to them and they accepted it. They were baptized. They received the ruach HaKodesh. You know, they were moving in the gifts. They had demonstration, right? So Shaul felt responsible for them, right? He loved them, right? But Shaul also knew that, you know, people that was in the midst of the people in Corinthians that were causing problems. You know, got to the point where in this 8th, 9th, and 10th chapter, Shaul's talking about, you know, promises made in reference to offerings, and, you know, how, you know, the expectation is that, you know, you need to follow through with what you had said you were going to do a year ago, right? Because, you know, you inspired everybody else. You inspired Macedonia. These poor folk in Macedonia, they were deep in poverty, right? But they put together an offering, and Shaul said, I'm going to send them with Titus and some other brethren to show you what they've done, and make sure that when they get there, you prepared with your offering, right? You know, then you had Shaul in this 10th chapter, you know, have a bunch of people, you know, you have some people there talking about, yeah, Shaul be talking like he all tough and everything, you know, but, you know, he's strong in them letters, but we know what you look like. Little weak, frail looking little dude. You're short, you're weak, look frail, and your speech is contemptible. You ain't no Apollos, right? So, you know, Shaul understood. He knew what he was dealing with. He had the it was reported unto him. He knew what people were saying about him. So Shaul addressed those things. You know, he said, listen, you know, I ain't coming to fight with you. You know, our weapons of my warfare are carnal. I don't come to wage war with you. I don't come to do battle with you like that. Listen, I come in the power of the ruach HaKodesh. I bring every thought and imaginations and every high and lofty thought under the subjection of the ruach HaKodesh. Listen. You may think I'm frail. You know, yeah, you know, I may even have a little speech impediment. But I got the ruach power in me. And you know, because you've seen the ruach at work. Right? You know, you ruach at work. So, Shaul, he's dealing with that whole idea and how they were thinking, how they were talking, and all that whole things, right? And Shaul finished that 10th chapter talks about how, the people were there because of him. You don't boast in that. He says, I'm not boasting about anything. I have a right to, I can, but I don't. I don't measure myself against other people. And I definitely don't measure myself against myself. I measure myself against the ruach of Yahuah. I measure myself in what he's giving me to do, and am I doing that? Right? He said, yeah, and I've this witness says it's not just stopped in Corinthians. Just haven't stopped with the assemblies at Corinth, but we way in Macedonia. We going into Spain. We going everywhere with this witness, right? And Shaul is just, he's helping them to understand who he is, right? He said, but he that glorieth, let him glory in Adonai Yahusha. He said, I don't glory in who I am. I don't glory in my accomplishments, right? I glory in Yahuah. Because, see, the outcome is to get you to recognize in this witness that in the end, we both want to be in the same place. In the presence with Yahuah, having endured unto the end. Right? He says, for not he that commandeth himself is approved. Right? See, because, if I brag on myself, that's not going to prove me before Yahuah. Me bragging on myself. Oh, yeah, well, what Apollo's like, well, I know I'm this, and this, So I was like, I ain't got time to be weighing myself against Apollos or Cephas. That's not what I do. I weigh myself against Yahuah and what he's called me to do. He says, for not he that commandeth himself is approved, but whom I do not command. See, and if Yahuah is proud of me and he's pleased with me, that's all that matters. I ain't worried about what people think. Listen, you know me. I don't really care about what people think. And I praise Yahuah for that. I don't. I'm confident in the word that Yahuah gave me. I'm not arrogant. I'm not puffed up. I'm not proud. But I'm confident in what Yahuah has done for me. I've never been the kind of guy to be like, I wonder what they think about me. I wonder if they like me. No. I've never been that guy. I've never been that guy. I've never been that guy to look for approval. It's funny because I was growing up, I used to have my own style. I used to go to school dressed up. One other time for me to wear a suit and jacket if I wanted to. I mean, that's the way I dressed. I just always wanted to look good, smell good too. I'm a man that liked cologne. As a young man, my mother used to sell Avon. I know Avon. That's a witchish kind of thing too. But that's something else altogether different. Anyway, he used to sell Avon. So I used to get the little Avon car colognes. I used to have a bunch of little car colognes. Yeah, I used to look at colognes. Man, I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 years old. I used to get them cologne cars. And I used to wear them colognes. My dad used to get them too. So I'd get his bottles because I like the bottles. I collect the bottles too. Right? But that's cologne. So, as growing up, I was always into, smelling nice and looking nice. Smelling nice and looking nice. I like my haircut. I like looking nice. It wasn't that I was looking at myself in the mirror like, oh man, you so fine. No, it wasn't that kind of thing. It was just me. I ain't need nobody to tell me that. That was just me. When you went, elementary school, junior high school, high school, listen, it was just me. I'm never really concerned about what people thought about me. Right? I was confident. I was the average guy. But I was confident about what Yahuah was doing in me. And as a young man, I would see the ruach hakodesh at an early age. I had the ruach hakodesh when I was in high school. I was probably freshman in high school. Freshman in high school. Freshman? Yeah. Freshman in high school. Had a ruach HaKodesh. Life has always been what it is, right? I know Yahuah is my source. Yahusha. So, let's go to the 11th chapter. So in the 11th chapter, Shaul was going in a little bit further. He's like, listen, would to allure you could bear with me a little in folly, right? Right. So, just bear with me, because I'm gonna present myself. I'm gonna represent myself. It's not really necessary, right? So let's look at that word folly. That word folly is
Strong's G 877.
Afrasune,
Afrasune.
right? It means foolishness, folly, senselessness, thoughtlessness, recklessness. So Shaul's like, listen, I need you to bear with me a little. Because, what I begin to say may seem a little reckless, right? May seem a little bit folly, because, I just told you, that's not what I do. But, just bear with me a little, right? He says, and indeed bear with me. He says, for I am jealous over you with an allure jealousy. He said, listen, I don't like people doing you a certain way. I don't like people saying things about me, about you, right? I'm a little jealous about that. I don't feel like I need to tolerate that with you. No, I ain't tolerating that with them, with you. They ain't gonna just be around you and say things around you and do things around you and me not say anything. So, bear with me a little bit, because, I might go in just a bit. I need you to bear with me a little bit, because I'm about to, I might go in a little bit about this thing, Because, you got these people out here talking about me. Telling me I talk big and bag in letters, but, to see me, I ain't nothing. Short, weak, frail, can't even talk. But I won you. I brought you to this witness. I'm an apostle of Yahusha Mashiach. Right? I'm doing this work, and it's going from here and beyond. And they trying to make me out to be something I'm not. They trying to say I'm doing this in my flesh. I'm jealous of you. For I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin unto Mashiach. Listen, I prepared you and espoused you to Yahusha Mashiach. I did that. And I'm jealous because, I don't want these other people thinking that they did it. They ain't did nothing. I put in the work. I lived amongst you for 2-3 years. I was amongst you, giving you the Besorah and the Torah of truth. I was breaking Torah open. There was no New Testament. There was no gospel of Besorah according to Yahuah and Netanyahu and Luke and that. Nah, I was giving you it in Torah. I was showing you. Brought this word to you. Listen, it wasn't Apollos. I did that. It wasn't CEPHER. It wasn't anybody else. I did that. Now bear with me. It was me that espoused you to Yahusha. It was me that brought you to the witness of Yahusha Mashiach. It was through what I've done with you that you've received the water, the blood, and the ruach HaKodesh, and you're moving in the gifts. Wasn't nobody else but me. He says, for I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtleties, so your minds should be corrupt from the simplicity that is in Mashiach. Listen, I'm concerned about the people that's flowing around you, right? Trying to get you off of what you know, get you off of what I've taught you. You know, Hasatan wants you. He wants to pull you back. He wants to take you from what you were in. Right? He wants to get you to a place where you move away from the leading in the direction of the Ruach HaKodesh off into something else. And when you do that, the Ruach HaKodesh is no longer there. You done been bewitched. You have fallen under a spell. You become abominable. Pa'aki. He did a lesson on abomination today in our Zoom. You gonna put that up. Put that up. You're gonna allow yourselves to be beguiled. Now, what does that word beguiled mean? Right. That's what he did. That's what he did. He casted a spell on Eve. He deceived. That word beguiled.
Strong's G 1818. Exapatao.
Exapatao. It means to deceive. To deceive. Hasatan deceived. To seduce wholly. To seduce wholly. To beguile, to deceive. The etymology of that word.
Strong's G 538. Apatao.
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 To cheat. To deceive. So you got these brews that are using the deceit to beguile you as serpents, like Hasatan did to Eve in the garden. And you know what the outcome of that was. She sinned against Torah. She gave up the ruach HaKodesh that she had. She became a living soul without Yahuwah's ruach. Without the ruach HaKodesh. He said, listen, don't allow them to subtly beguile you, to start influencing what you think. Don't allow these people to cause you to think opposite of what you have been taught through me. All they trying to do is create division. They just trying to separate you from the witness. They trying to get you to move from what you are already established in. The witness of Yahusha Mashiach. You already have the Ruach HaKodesh. You know what that looks like. Listen, don't allow them to beguile you. He said, your mind should be corrupt from simplicity that is in Mashiach. They want to corrupt your mind from the simplicity that comes through faith in the witness of Yahusha Mashiach. Why? The witness of Yahusha Mashiach is not deep. It's not deep. It's based on emunah. All you need is a mustard seed. You just have to believe that he's the son of Yahuwah. You just have to believe that he died for your sins. You have to be washed and be baptized. And then you have to receive, ask for his Ruach HaKodesh. It's not deep. It's not complicated. It's simple. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtilty, right? His craftiness, right? He was subtle. You know somebody, I call them subtle seed planters. Like Yakastan, subtle seed planting. Hey, listen. As Yahuah said that you shouldn't eat of any of the trees that are in the garden. Subtlety. Deception. Woman said, no, Yahuah never said we couldn't eat of any of the trees. We eat of the trees now. We couldn't eat any of the trees. What we would eat. No, he said not to eat of the tree that's in the midst of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For the day you eat of it, we're going to die. I said, time. Listen, you won't surely die. See, Yahuah knows that the day you eat of them, you'll be like him, knowing good and evil. See, now they were already like him, but there was no need to know good and evil, because he created a place where evil didn't exist, and everything was based on good. They already knew the good. They knew Yahuah. But the evil has at times. They didn't know that. But, with that subtlety, he beguiled them, seduced them. Right? Seduced them. Right? Lost everything. Right? Lost it. Listen, right? Yahuah gave them the ruach HaKodesh. They were ruach HaKodesh beings. But they chose to disobey Yahuah's Torah. And when they disobeyed Yahuah's Torah, Yahuah took his ruach from them. Yahuah took his ruach HaKodesh from them and put them out the garden. They couldn't get in. They couldn't get into the kingdom again that he established in the Eretz. They couldn't get in because of their sin. His presence, his ruach left them, and they knew it. Right? They knew it. See, and some would lead you to believe, right, that you can have the ruach HaKodesh now and it'll never leave you. What? You can sin and it'll never leave you. Yeah, I posted this. The wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. First chapter. Verse 4. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter. The ruach of Yahuah, the ruach of wisdom, the ruach of understanding, the ruach of knowledge, ruach of counsel and might, right? Ruach of understanding, the ruach of fear of Yahuah, 7 ruachs, right? But he says here, for in a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. Now listen. For the ruach HaKodesh of discipline. Well, the ruach HaKodesh is what it is: ruach of wisdom and understanding, ruach of counsel of might, ruach of knowledge and the fear of Yahuah. The ruach is the ruach of Yahuah, right? But the ruach HaKodesh of discipline, it's ruach HaKodesh because ruach HaKodesh will lead you and guide you into all truth, because it keeps you in the path. And you know what? Yahuah will cause tribulation in order to get you disciplined. Right? Ruach HaKodesh, right? The Ruach HaKodesh of discipline, right, will flee deceit. So you mean I have the Ruach HaKodesh And when I failed to listen to his wisdom, right, and move into deceit, that the Ruach HaKodesh is going to stay with me? For the Ruach HaKodesh of discipline will flee deceit. And remove from thoughts that are without understanding and will not abide, will not remain, continue, and dwell. Will not abide, will not remain, continue, and dwell when unrighteousness comes in. That's why they don't understand that this Ruach HaKodesh will leave. What fellowship is righteousness? What unrighteousness? What agreement has Christ Mashiach with Hasatan? You got to discipline yourself in this witness. You got to allow the Ruach HaKodesh discipline to do its job in you, right? Because it's gonna lead you and guide you, right, in the Word, fasting and praying and dedication, right, in the renewal of your mind, bringing in subjection your body. And if you do these things, look, you will be kept. You got to do it to the end. You got to endure to the end. You can't break rank ship, and decide to do something later down the road and expect Yahuah to be like, oh, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, you laying with her, but I'm still here. Yeah, you sinned against Yahuah, but I'm still here. You sinned against the body. Come on, man, it's ridiculous. Yahuah will dwell in nothing that's unclean. Listen, gotta understand this, man. If y'all, woman, if y'all, don't let nobody tell you believe you can lose the you can't use the Ruach HaKodesh. He's there with you forever. No, he ain't. He's there with you forever if you remain, continue, and dwell and abide in him. If ye abide in me and my word abide in you. If you dwell in him, he'll dwell in you. But listen, if you don't, you decide you don't want to dwell anymore, you turn your back on Yahuah, to renew again, renew again your old to repentance, to crucify you, Mashiach afresh. You think Yahuah is going to allow that to happen? Because you want to play games? No. Ruach is left. And you know what? Listen, right? Consider Dawid, right? Dawid was a man after Yahuah's own heart. He poured his Ruach HaKodesh into him. He gave Dawid his Ruach HaKodesh, right? Dawid had the Ruach HaKodesh. I don't know why I'm getting off on this right now, but the Ruach HaKodesh Dawid had, right? So Dawid, right. He was the king, right? But at some point, he lost the connection. He lost the Ruach's impression in him. Now, because he looked over that wall and he saw Bathsheba's body and got so caught up in it in sin, right? Because it you know where sin is, Yahuah ain't there. So what Dawid do? Dawid saw that was good, so he went after it. Now he knew she had a husband. He committed adultery, violated Torah. Him and her both deserved to be stoned. Found out she was pregnant. Oh, I gotta get her husband back. Go find me Uriah, right? Because I gotta cover up this woman who's been taken in adultery by me and is pregnant now. I gotta get her back to her husband. Man came back. Dawid says, listen, you've been working hard. I wanted you to know, you go in, enjoy your wife, and trying to cover it up. Man says, okay, yeah, but I don't want to. He says, but, I want you to. Dawid ended up sleeping outside the king's castle. Man stayed outside the king council, didn't even go to his wife. Dawid said, I got a problem. Now listen. He ain't moving in the ruach hakodesh. Ruach hakodesh not with him. The ruach hakodesh not with Dawid at that point. It's not with him. Because you can't be moving like he was moving and have his ruach hakodesh. So David says, well, you know what, let me go ahead and take this man, put him on the front line. Yeah, he probably die, and, then, I can come in and marry his wife, and, no harm, no foul. That's what he did. He murdered a man. He took the man's wife, right? Committed adultery, Torah, death by stoning, both of them, right? Then he lied. Yahuah hates a lying tongue. Brought the man in, lied to the man, wanted him to sleep with his wife because he was a good soldier and dedicated, and all the rest of the soldiers weren't as good dedicated as him. Lied. You right into it. So now we said, okay, I gotta deal with this thing. I get this thing covered up. So I gotta take him, put him on the front line, because I know he ain't gonna make it in the front lines. I know he, because I was king of war battle. I mean, he ain't gonna make it on the front line. He didn't make it on the front line. So now he's straight. Right. Until Yahuah sent the anointed man of Eluah, Nathan. Because Dawid couldn't hear the ruach hakodesh because the ruach hakodesh left from that point. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. See, because you know what? There was no conviction of wrong. Because ruach hakodesh convicts you of wrong. There was no conviction of wrong from David. There was no conviction. Right? So Nathan had to come. Because, he was the king of Yashar'el. See, in our Yisrael standing to suffer because of what Dawid did. Oh, yeah. Nathan said, listen. Yahuah has a word. He said, there was a man who had sheep. He had his choice of sheep. Any sheep that he wanted, he could have had. But there was this one guy. This one sheep, man, had only one sheep. One lamb, one sheep. It was one. And instead of taking from the amongst of all the ones he could have had, he gonna take this man one sheep. They was like, who is this man? This man needs to be judged. This man needs to be judged. Dawid, David, you the man. Yahuah had to send Nathan to bring Dawid a word because Dawid couldn't hear Yahuah's ruach because Yahuah had left. That's why Dawid said Yahuah restored to me the joy that comes in Yeshua by the ruach hakodesh. Cast me not away from thy presence. I'm worthy of death. The judgment of death should be upon me. See, but Dawid's heart was right. Dawid, he suffered, right? That boy died. Oh yeah. He died. He didn't want him to die. David didn't want him to die, but he wanted him to live, right? But how you were gonna let you have a baby from fornication and adultery sit on the throne? Listen, you better understand something. you have to make a choice to discipline yourself to stay in this witness and under the power and the authority of the Ruach HaKodesh. Because if you don't, the Ruach HaKodesh will leave you and you will be lost to yourself unless Yahuah has mercy and sends someone to you with a word that will shake you up and hopefully turn you back around if Yahuah chooses by mercy to do it. That's why I was saying, you tasted of the goodness of Yahuah and the power of the heavens to come, and then go back to renew your old dead works, your old fornication self. How you gonna be that house that was swept clean and then going to allow sin to enter in, right? So now you got them demons that had came, that had left. Oh, you got more stronger ones now, and they coming in to occupy the house, take up residency and dominion, right? But they had to bring you to a place where you got them in. How you gonna renew again Yahuah's to Yahusha to repentance again? See, listen, when you understand this witness for what it is, and you understand what the Ruach HaKodesh is, you understand that, listen, you have to work. You have to work. You literally, the Ruach HaKodesh of discipline, it's going to cause you to flee from deceit. You ain't gonna want nothing to do with deceit. You ain't gonna want nothing to do with nothing that's not righteous. You gonna want to keep the Torah and the Besorah. You gonna want to do this. This is what you gonna want to do. And then all of a sudden you gonna, right? It's gonna remove from thoughts that are without unrighteousness come in. It's going to be removed. Listen, and thoughts of unrighteousness is going to come in. For the Ruach HaKodesh of discipline will flee deceit. Ain't got nothing to do with deceit. If you righteous, you don't want nothing to do with deceit. Right? If you aren't unrighteousness, if you have the Ruach HaKodesh to make a conscious decision to want to do something deceitful, the Ruach HaKodesh leaves. Yeah, that's Christian church. You teach once saved, always saved. Once saved, you always saved. No matter what you do, His grace is good enough for you. You always saved. No, that's a doctrine. That's an abomination. That's not even true. That's not what that means. Listen, man, you better understand this Besorah, Torah. He says, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness come in. Let's get back to Shaul. Now, if y'all want me, y'all listen. Don't you get tricked. Don't you get tricked. Don't you get tricky. Who is giving you the Ruach HaKodesh because you asked for it? There comes a commitment to that Ruach HaKodesh. You have to allow it to discipline you, to bring you into this witness in living and providing guidance and direction and renewing and shaping the way you think all about you. And if you don't let it, it's going to flee from you. It ain't going to stay. All right, so he says, Paul, we talking about Shaul now, right? We talking about Shaul, right? Shaul, he says, for if he that cometh preaches another Mashiach, right? Preaching another Mashiach, whom we have not preached, or ye received another ruach, which ye have not received, or another Besorah, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. If you had received this witness that's come as a result of Yahusha Mashiach, but something else. You might have still been in it. Right? Right? He says, for if he that cometh preaches another Yahusha Mashiach, right? Because, people gonna preach another Yahusha Mashiach. Listen, Christianity is another Yahusha Mashiach. Oh yeah, he's Cesare Borgia. Yeah. He's white Goldilocks. Whom we have not preached. We haven't preached that to you. We haven't preached that Japhet and Ashkenaz are part of the witness of Yahusha Mashiach. We haven't preached that. Or ye received another ruach. Only ruach we presented was the ruach HaKodesh. So, whatever ruach they giving you is the ruach of Hasatan. Because the ruach that came by us is the ruach HaKodesh of truth. It's what brought the gifts of the ruach in you, right? Which ye have not received, or another Besorah, somebody preaching you something different, You still got some Judaizers right around talking about Shaul, talking about this, and Shaul talking about that. He's contemptible. You got to do this, and you got to do that. He says, listen, which ye have not accepted. Which you haven't accepted it. Ye might well bear with. He said, but listen, for I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostle. I ain't behind none of the apostles. I ain't even behind Peter. Because I'm bringing to your attention me. I need you to indulge me right now. Shaul was saying, gotta indulge me. I preached the Besorah. I preached the witness. I preached Hamashiach and the water, the blood, and the ruach HaKodesh, and you received the witness of Yahusha Mashiach. I didn't come with all of this Torah regulations. Right. Stuff that didn't even apply to you. Circumcision. Didn't even apply to you. Didn't even apply to you. You all you need to do is not eat a thing strangled. Eat meat offered to idols. I think it was my idols. Strangled, drink blood. Whatever it is, those things that the Gentiles was doing. That's the only things that they told them to refrain from. Oh, fornication. Fornication. Yeah, everybody got to say fornication. You don't get a pass on fornication. You don't get a pass on fornication. Fornication is a sin against the body. Oh, yeah. You got the ruach HaKodesh and you commit fornication, guess whoop, ruach HaKodesh is gone. Because you've moved in deceit. You've become unrighteous. He ain't dwelling in that. He know where you going with that. No. He gone. No. And if you think you can sit up here and commit fornication, right? And you can sit up here and lust and masturbate, and you can say you got the ruach HaKodesh, you lie and tell not the truth. Hello, you do lie and tell not the truth. You don't have the ruach HaKodesh. Not lusting and masturbating. No, what? Come on, man. All right. Why would there either? But somebody's getting this. So Shaul says, for I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostle. I was behind Peter. He says, but though rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifested among you in all things. So Shaul said his speech was rude. Let's look at that. Let's see what that Greek word means.
Strong's G 2399. Idiotes.
It is a private person as opposed to a magistrate or a common soldier or opposed to a military officer. All right, so I wasn't as dignified. I wasn't as dignified as in my presentation. I didn't use all the proper vernacular. I didn't use all of that vernacular. I didn't use all the choice words, right? I mean, I was, but you knew what I meant, though. Right? He said, but though rude in speech, yet everything I said was knowledgeable. Yeah, though my presentation was lackluster, I had knowledge. You knew I had been with Mashiach. Right? You know I bore about the witness of Yahusha Mashiach because I demonstrated it in power. Right? And it was thoroughly made manifested among you in all things. Right? You seen it all. Right? Now he says, listen. I have committed an offense in abasing myself, that ye might be exalted, because I preach to you this Besorah of Yahuah freely. See, now I'm committing this to help you to understand. I'm doing this, right? This. What he said? How the word he says? He says, I'm operating in this folly at this moment, right? I'm committing this offense right now in abasing myself. What is abasing myself? Meaning making myself low.
Strong's G 5013.
Tapinao. To make low, to bring low, to reduce to a plane, right? To assign a lower rank to. Listen. I'm making myself of lesser rank. I'm not putting myself in the class of the apostles and CEPHER. Right? I'm not doing that. Right? I'm not elevating myself in my opinion. Right? He says, to assign a lower rank, to be made humble or base. He says, of one soul bring down one's pride. Right? So he said, listen. He says, I have committed an offense and reducing myself to this place that ye might be exalted. I'm doing what I'm doing to exalt you. It's about exalting you, right? Because I have preached to you this Besorah of Yahuah freely, right? I robbed other churches taking wages to do you service. Yahusha says, I got paid in other assemblies, and I use that, right, to do you service. He said, I robbed them. He said, he took from them, right? I mean, he didn't physically rob them, right? Shaul didn't just physically rob somebody, right? That's not what he meant. He meant that I took from them. They gave it to me and I took from them. Right? From other assemblies. Taking wages to do you service. They wanted to give me offerings and I took them. That I might be able to go forward to Corinth. To do you service. Right? He says, I robbed other assemblies taking wages to do you service. And when I was present with you and wanted, I was chargeable to no man. When I was with you, nobody gave me nothing. I took nothing from nobody. He says, I got what I had from them. When I was present with you and wanted, I was chargeable to no man. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied. I was in Corinthians. I was in Corinth. Amongst the assemblies. I asked y'all for nothing. But the brothers, right, in Macedonia came and supplied my need. While you sitting here receiving the Besorah and the Torah of truth and benefiting from it. Excuse me. They saw to my need. You know. I thank Yahuah, right. I don't ask anybody for nothing. You know, what I do is what I do. And what I do here, you know, I mean, other than preaching and getting this Besorah out on YouTube and Facebook, you know, and like I said, going up to Connecticut, you know, and doing that type of ministry, which I solely plan on intending to do way more. Right? But when I went, you know, I didn't have money, abundance of money. You know, in actuality, you know, I had stopped working as a guardian for about 4 months. So, you know, I really had no income coming in until maybe a month before I you know, I'm like, well, you know what, let me drive Uber part-time during the day. And, you know, I mean, gas prices are still going up. So, you know, after a while, you'd be like, man, you driving and you know, you're not making enough money for it to be of benefit to you, you know. But anyway, you do it anyway. So, you know, I know I'm putting away money, because I know I had to go and baptize them. I had to go to Connecticut in my truck. You know, I was prepared to go. He said, go, no elder. We're going to take care of you. We're going to put you on a train. You good. You ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm like, okay, well, you know me. I'm still putting a little money here, a little money there. You know, I left and I didn't have a lot of money. You know, but I left, you know, because I knew I'm doing what you had told me to do. You know, I told you, you know, on the way, you know, couldn't get the truck on the train, you know, so I had to drive the whole way, you know, because it was too wide, an inch too wide. So what? I drive the whole way. So I drove the whole way. You know, I told Aki, listen, Aki, I said, man, you know, I ain't going to be able to get on the train because they tell me the truck too wide. He said, okay, well, you know, I planned for if there was ever a problem with the ticket, so, you know, we can cash that in, don't worry about it. He said, listen, he said, I'm going to give you some money for gas, right? And, you know, drive as long as you can. Once you get to where you need to go, and just go there, and I'll give you what you need for that, and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm thinking, man, boy, these people, they good to me. So I'm gone, you know, drive, you know, and of course, give me money for gas. You know, I had money for gas, and got to the hotel, the only hotel room in the area, and I got that hotel, and it was in the town of Weldon. It was amazing to me. So I got to the town. The reason why I said Weldon, because that's my birth name, Weldon. And Yahuah tells me to take the next exit. I take the next exit, and the next exit is Weldon. You can't make this stuff up. So anyway, but the whole time, just taking care of me, just taking care of me. I think, wow, it's a wonderful thing, and you never take nothing for granted, So, get up next morning, call them, get to the hotel, you take it to the hotel, get them next morning, start heading out, right? Driving all the way to Connecticut, man. Give them money for gas, go. Get there, spend time there. I'm with them, Before I leave, I come to me and says, "Hey, Elder, this is for you." I'm like, okay, I ain't even look at it. And I ain't going to tell you what it was, how much it was. But he gave it to me, right? And I'm like, well, okay, I appreciate that. I didn't even look at it. I put it in my suitcase. And then I finally looked at it. I'm like, I give you praise. Thank you. They blessed me. Blessed me to get home. Blessed me to get home. Blessed me to make sure that everything I needed was covered. Even for the time that I was away. Listen, understand this, right? Yahuah has people who are gracious. And they recognize your discipline. They recognize what you do. I had that sister. I told you I had that Okoti, right? She sent me a message telling me, Elder, I wanna pay for your dinner. I'm like, oh, you don't do that. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, let me tell you something. I don't ever have to ask you who. I don't ask people. I don't ask people for nothing. I don't ask people to give me an offering. I don't ask none of that. I don't ask that. Because you was my source. If you would put something on your heart, then that's what you would told you to do. Then you should do it. Shall so that every man's purpose in his heart, let him give. If you will put something on your heart to do it, then you should do it. Because in doing it, right, you bless someone else, right, to be able to do what they need to do. Because see, when I headed to Connecticut, I ain't had that much money in my pocket. Right? Y'all don't hear me. Connecticut supplied. And in all things, I kept myself from being a burden. I don't want to be nobody's burden. No. He said, burden unto you, and will I keep. I'm a burden unto you, and I'm going to make sure I'm good. They made sure I was good. Let's go on. Somebody hearing this word. This word is for somebody hearing this word. Listen. As the truth of a Mashiach is in me, no man shall stop me. Listen. This witness that Yahuah gave me to preach, the ruach, that's the water and the blood, ain't no man gonna stop me. Ain't no set of circumstances gonna stop me. And definitely finances ain't gonna stop me. Of this boasting in the region of Archaea, wherefore? Because I love you not, Alua knows. Listen. The truth of Mashiach is in me. This witness is in me. The ruach HaKodesh of truth is in me. No man shall stop me of this boasting. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from telling you Yahuah was in with me. I know Yahuah was with me. I ain't measuring myself against anybody else. I know Yahuah was with me. I'm not measuring myself against anybody else's ministry. I know Yahuah is with me. The Besorah of truth, Yahuah is with the Besorah of truth, right? And those who listen to these YouTubes that are benefited by the ministry of the Besorah of truth, listen. I know it's best. I know it's blessing you. I know it's blessing you. I don't listen. I know it is. Ain't nobody gonna stop me of boasting in this. Nobody gonna stop me from boasting in the ruach and the Besorah of truth, and the witness of Yahuah, and how it flows in the Besorah of truth. Listen, when I hear my Ak teach, I've been in this witness for maybe 3 years. Received the ruach HaKodesh. I'm boasting. Yeah, I'm boasting in my Akis, my Kotis. I'm boasting. Listen. Wherefore, because I love you not. He said, wherefore? Because I love you not. He said, so am I doing this boasting because I don't love you? Yahuah knows I love you. Right? This boasting that I'm doing, right? And Yahusha Mashiach is truth. Right? Wherefore? Because I love you not. I'm not boasting because I love you not. Yahuah knows I love you. Right? But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasions from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory, they be found even as we. See, because this is for them folk who take an occasion, take an opportunity to work up on some stuff, to create some division over you and me, over us, Corinthians and Shaul, right? Who's coming up with all kinds of crazy stuff, right? He says, but what I do, that I may cut off occasion from them, I'm doing this to take away their opportunity to exalt and boast in something that they have no right to, right? He said, I may cut off the occasion from them which desire to have an occasion, that wherein they glory, they may be found even as we. Oh yeah, you're going to find yourself in the same place I find myself, with you. He says, for such false prophets. These false prophets. Deceitful workers. Transforming themselves into apostles of a Mashiach. You ain't an apostle of a Mashiach. Transforming themselves into apostles. She got a bunch of people now talking about I'm an apostle. You seen a Mashiach? You seen a Mashiach. You established in Hamashiach's teaching. You seen Hamashiach. He spoke his word to you. He talked to you. You're an apostle. Yeah, I ain't no apostles, man. He said, listen. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasions from them that desire occasions, that wherein they glory, they may be found even as we. For such false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of a Mashiach, right? And no marvel, for Hasatan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Hasatan has a power to present himself as an angel of light. Same satanic, same power of the prince of the power of the air, that same ruach that now worketh in the children of disobedience, and no marvel. There's nothing to marvel about with these people. There's nothing to marvel about these people, right? They transform themselves as Hasatan transformed himself, presenting himself as an angel of light, right? He says, therefore, no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, right? It's no small thing that they present themselves as ministers of righteousness, because they ain't ministers of righteousness. They're trying to transform themselves and present the look, the idea of being righteous, right? Whose end shall be according to their works. In the end, their works are going to find them out. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise yet as fools receive me, that I may boast myself a little. Right? Yeah, don't think I don't know who I am. Don't think I don't know what is in me in the ruach hakodesh. Don't think I'm a fool. Right? Right? I say again, let no man think me a fool, or otherwise yet as a fool receive me. I don't think I'm a fool, but you better receive me. That I may boast myself a little while. Myself a little, right? He said, listen, that I speak, that which I speak, not after Adonai, but as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting. So Shaul says this is about boasting. And this is the reason why I'm boasting. And yes, it's folly. Anytime you need to defend yourself to people by using your achievements, it becomes folly. It's boasting. Boasting is folly. I had a gentleman that I worked for under, and he thinks, well, I was a CEO of this, and I was a president of this, and I ran General Motors, all that kind of boasting of yourself. Why? Because nobody hear that. Nobody listening to that. He says, that which I speak not after Adonai, but as it were foolishly. And this confidence of boasting, right? Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will also. It's okay. So y'all wanna boast about what you are and what you do. I'm gonna boast too. It's folly now. This is folly. But y'all was like, okay, y'all want to play that? We'll boast a little bit. Folly. I need you to, he told the Corinthians, and he says, I need you to bear with me. You bear with me. He says, listen, Now, he says, but what I do, that I will do, and that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory, they may be found even as we, right? For such false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Mashiach. And no marvel, right? For Hasatan himself is transformed into an angel of light, right? Right? Therefore, no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Yeah, you know, they can pretend that they're ministers of righteousness, but in the end, their works going to find them out, right? Their works is going to prove them, right? He says, I say again, let no man think me a fool. Don't think that I'm a fool, right? If otherwise, yet as a fool receive me. Otherwise receive me, right? That I may boast a little of myself a little. He says, that which I speak not after Adonai, right? I'm not doing this after Adonai. I'm doing this after myself, just like you doing it. I'm showing you who I am now. He says, but as it were foolishly, right? Because it is foolishness. And this confidence of boasting, because anytime you boasting in yourself in confidence, that's foolish. That's folly. You know, you toot your own horn, right? He says, seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. You talking about all the things you did, I'm gonna do it too. He says, for ye suffer fools gladly. Ye suffer fools gladly, seeing ye are wise, right? So for ye suffer fools gladly. You suffer people who you think are fools gladly, right? Seeing you yourself, you wise. You don't tolerate them. They fools to you, because you see yourself as wise, right? Right? For ye suffer, if a man brings you into bondage, if a man devours, if a man takes, if a man exalts himself, if a man smites you on the face. Now, these are things that Yahuah said, okay, these are things that has happened to me. Okay, you think a man who suffers bondage, who's been put in prison, right? If a man devours and takes you, right? Put you, and if a man exalts himself, if a man smites you on the side of your face, I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak. Howbeit, whensoever any is bold, speak foolishly, I am bold also. He said, now listen, I was a reproach. And I was reproached, right? I was seen as weak. I've been weak. He says, howbeit, whereinsoever any is bold, any God is bold, I speak foolishly. I am bolder also. I'm bold because I know what I've been through. For Yahusha Mashiach's sake. What you've been through. He says, are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? I. Are they the seed of Avraham? I. So now Shaul is comparing himself to Jews, Hebrews. He compares himself to Peter and Paul. Peter and the apostles. He compared himself against the Jews. He said, listen, if they ministers of a Mashiach, I speak as a fool. I'm more. If they're the ministers of Yahusha Mashiach, I'm more of a minister, right? He says, more in labors, more abundant in stripes, above measure in prisons, more frequent of death often. This me, show. I'm boasting now. Now they're apostles, so am I. They're Hebrews, so am I. I'm a part of the Abrahamic covenant. They are, so am I. Listen. I labored more than they. I ain't got no wife, and I've been on the go for years with this Besorah. I've been beat, stripes, right? Above measure. I've been in prison more frequently. Yeah. Right? In death often. Rockladon. Put into the sea. Serpent bites him in the hand. Stone drug out of the city, left for dead. He says, of the Yahudim, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save 1. 5 times I've been beat. Of the Yahudim, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save 1. Thrice was I beaten with rods, 3 times. Once I was stoned, and thrice I was shipwrecked. A night and day have I been in the deep. Gotta have been a rock down, right? I've been in the deep. He says, journeying often, pearls of water, pearls of robbers, pearls of my own countrymen, pearls of the heathen, pearls in the city, pearls in the wilderness, pearls on sea, pearls amongst false brethren. This is me. This is what I've been through. This is why I preach this Besorah, this witness. I ain't acting remotely. Listen. Man of Yahuah, woman of Yahuah, grafted in Gentiles in the body of Mashiach, Yashar'el, Yahuah. This is what that witness looks like. This is what the witness of Yahusha Mashiach looks like. In weariness and painfulness, and watching often, and hunger, and thirst, and fasting, and cold, and nakedness, besides those things that are without that which come upon me daily. I care for all the assemblies. So, asking them to bear with his folly, weighing himself against himself, and comparing himself to others that are of the apostles, that are of the Yahudim. Don't talk about me. Don't talk about, because you can't compare what you've been through with what I've been through. Who is weak and I am not weak? Who is offended and I not? And I burn not, angry not. I'm offended and not angry. That burn means that's not like a fire burn. That's like anger, I think. Fire kindled, and side darts, of darts flamed, and fire to be burned, to be kindled, incense, fire, it's figuratively. Okay, so Shaul is saying, right? Who is weak, right? And I am not weak. Who is offended? And I'm not burned. If I must need glory, I will glory of the things which concern my infirmities, the things that I go through. I'm going to glory in the sufferings, not in the achievements. I'm going to glory in the things that I've suffered, not in the things that I have achieved. He says, if I need glory, I will glory in the things which concern my infirmities. For Adonai, the Abba of Adonai Yahusha Mashiach, which is blessed forevermore, knoweth that I lie not. Abba knows that I tell the truth. In Damascus, the governor under Arthias, the king, kept the city of Damascus with a garrison, desiring to appear to apprehend me. See, I suffered. Don't talk nothing about me. You don't know me. I'm not glorying in what I achieved. I don't glory in being a Pharisee. I don't glory in being an apostle. I glory in what I've suffered. Because Yahuah knows. Abba knows. Adonai Yahusha knows. Right? They're pleased. He says, listen. And through a window in the basket was I let down by the wall and escaped with hands. Shaul. The 11th chapter of Corinthians. Felt it necessary to go in a bit. Felt like he should and asked to have you bear with him. Right? Glorying in his suffering and not puffed up over his own achievements and personal abilities. Yeah, I don't speak as good as everybody else. I don't look as strong as everybody else. I don't even talk as well as everybody else. But I've suffered for Mashiach's sake. And listen, I've gone above and beyond all those that were Jews before me. All of those that were apostles before me. Traveled more, been to more places, reached more people with this witness that are of the other nations, going. I did that. Had the whole garrison. What was it? The governor of Damascus kept the city on lock, searching for Yahuah, that they may take him and put him in jail. But he was lowered to a window in a basket in order to escape. Don't tell me what you know about me. Don't tell me what you know about this witness. And you Corinthians know. Don't you let these people trick you, beguile you, get you to think something that's not true. Try to twist up everything about me to make me be something that I'm not. Listen, you got to be ready to endure. Because this is what this witness is about. It's about enduring to the end. Charles said, listen, I know who I am. I know what he's called me to do. And I'm doing it. I'm about his business. I'm about this word. I'm about this Torah. I'm about this Besorah of truth. I'm about this witness. I'm about Yahuwah's work. About Yahuwah's work being done. I'm about Yahuwah's work being done. I'm about the witness of Yahusha Mashiach being done. And you know what? Ain't nothing gonna stop me. Nothing gonna stop me. I'm gonna do what he told me to do. Man of Yah, woman of Yah. We the people of the book broadcast has gone down today. Hallelujah. Hezekiah. Song is entitled Slavery. We lost everything. But Yahuah has delivered us who have received this witness to walk in the liberty that comes in the ruach HaKodesh, disciplining ourselves for the purpose of serving him. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, understand what you in. We got to do what he calls us to do. Yahuah, I pray right now for those that have heard me, that are under the sound of my voice this Shabbat. I pray that you would strengthen and keep them, Yahuah. I pray that you would allow your word to come alive in them. Yahuah, that it may be health to their navel, not marrow to their bones, that you would strengthen them, that your word would bring health and healing. Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, I pray. I thank you for your Shabbat. I give you praise for your rest. Yahuah, continue to rest and abide in and with me. I trust you and your ruach HaKodesh for everything. Yahuah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah. The broadcast has gone down. I don't own the rights to Vox Music. Slavery by Hezekiah. I gotta put that in there because I gotta do it right. Listen. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called the greatness, woman of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made today. As you is favored Jew. Walk in that favor, be led by the ruach HaKodesh. And what I say, with that I say, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat. Receive the witness, the ruach HaKodesh, the water, the blood, and be established. Be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.